Whew. Whew. Sorry, I'm practicing for Halloween. Oh, hey, patrol members. You know, let me adjust you a little bit. Okay, be ready. Be ready. Ready? Woo! There you go. You were cutting off the top of my head here. Where's my... There it is. Where's it? Am I right? Am I right? Where... This is my great-grandfather's fez. I'd tell you what it was for, but then we'd probably have to send someone to your house to kill you. Let me get turned around here. Then we light up old Chim Chim. Like I said, Halloween's coming. Got to start breaking out some of these accoutrements. Let's rotate that. There we go. How's that? Whew. Hey guys. Whew. We're gonna see how this goes tonight. I feel a little bit better today, and I figured I could have a shot and have a cigar, and we'd be fine. Or I could be a liar. Let's all put our hands together for Drake for filling in for me. I got another video with Drake that I'm going to put up. It's got a little sound issue, but I think I can conquer it. So, I got my new skull shot glasses. I have a gold anniversary, Oro Aniversario Cubana right here. Right over here will be the cigar. We'll get that fired up. Come on, Chim Chim, you can do better than that. We're counting on you. And I have a whiskey I've never heard of before the other day, Chicken Cock. Right? Chicken Cock. Kentucky Straight Rye Whiskey. It's 90 proof. The famous old brand. I don't know how famous or how old it is, but I'm sure there'll be something on the back here that'll tell me. So let's fire up this Oro Cubana. Gold anniversary. Can I make the trash can? Ooh! And he's in for the win. I think I'm going to drill this one, not pierce it. Let's move the chicken cock over here by Chim Chim. People have asked me, why didn't I name him Bonzo? After Bonzo the Chimp movies. Even at my advanced age, Chim Chim is more age appropriate. Okay. I did a little damage to the cat. Hopefully it'll be okay. I'm going to break out my... You know what? I'm going to use matches. I'm going to use matches. That is what happens when your cigars start to dry out. I'm going to have to treat these somehow. And speaking of treating cigars, I saw an article, or I read an article about how to infuse your own cigars, right? So this one said to take a Tupperware container big enough to hold your cigars, and you remove them from the wrapper, which I did, and then you put a container of your favorite, whatever you want to infuse them with. In my case, it's going to be Revelstoke Pecan Whiskey, and you put that in there, and then you seal it up tight and let it sit for 6 to 8 weeks. Now, they've been in there for a week, so Halloween night, which of course I'll do a video on, will be the first night I've tried the cigar. That'll be 6 weeks. Even though a cigar is starting to dry out, it's still nice and mild. But when they start to dry out, you need to smoke them slow or they'll get hot. And of course I have the grape Kool-Aid. Man, it's starting to flake off in my mouth. Nothing better than grape Kool-Aid. Okay, so how's everything in your part of the world? Everything doing okay? Things are doing okay here? We've had very unusual weather. Every time I look at the weather on my phone, it says that it's going to be 90, 89 degrees. And then when that day rolls around, it's 78, 75. Today was no different. It was like 78, 77 degrees here, Fahrenheit. I'll put the scientific temperature over here, of course. And now we're expecting a rain squall to pass through. I don't think it's going to happen. I really don't think it's going to happen, but you never know. It is a little breezy, and it is clouding over. And I can feel the temperature drop. It's 20 minutes to 7. Or a few people like digital time, it's 7:40, it's 6:40, right? Sunset here is in approximately 90 seconds. 6:41, so it's 6:39 and a half right now. So yeah, about 90 seconds. This is a good smoke. I haven't had a cigar in days and days because I haven't been feeling good. So that's how that's going. And I'm using an old camera, and the reason I'm using an old camera is because I'm having a problem with how I can get the green screen in the background with the GoPro. You have to be really close to get the whole green screen in. This camera is quite a ways away, and I can get the whole green screen in. And I just hope it sounds okay. Oh, and if you watch the Drake video, I apologize for the format. So, in my version of Wondershare, when you upload a video, i.e. from my camera, you tell it what format you want it to be in, what resolution and everything. It only gives you a choice. You can't change that choice. So I did everything in landscape. All the little, Certainty and Theodore Roosevelt, all the little intro pictures. That is all in landscape. Fast forward to putting Drake's video in. Drake filmed his in portrait. When I switched it to the format of my video and all the intro, it cut the top and the bottom of his head off. He was landscape, but you can't fix that. So I had to put him in landscape, which reverted all my previous entries into landscape, and that's why it looks so weird. So I'm going to look at a tutorial to see how to correct that. So I apologize for that. I know it seemed kind of weird, and yeah, it was kind of weird. Now, that was Drake's first video. I think he did a good job for his very first time. So he'll get better. He's going to fill in for me on occasion, and I really appreciate that. I really appreciate that. He's a fine young man, right? He and his sister and his mom are fine people. Fine people. Aside from that, I got a doctor's appointment on Monday. Talked to him about more about my knees. I've got the duct tape drags are coming up in Tucson, the middle of October. I really want to go to that. What else? That's about it. That's about it. I'm trying to come up with good things to do for Halloween. You know, if you look at YouTube, just about everything is done. There isn't a cryptid, sea serpent, ghost, alien, flying saucer, disappearing person, ghost car, ghost truck, ghost airplane, ghost train that hasn't been done by somebody. But I'm gonna come up with something. I'll come up with something. I'm not gonna leave you in the dark. And I'm gonna try to do a really old format that I did in my first thing, so you guys it looks more familiar to you. Okay. Red and his bros are going to be back, gracing the table, and Chim Chim, you know, Chim Chim's a staple. Chim Chim, I've had Chim Chim a long time, and Hootie and his son, they're going to return. I don't know, fortunately I don't know what happened to them after we had our estate sale, but yeah. So anyhow, let's get this cracked open, huh? So what do we got? Chicken Cock Whiskey, Kentucky Straight Rye Whiskey, 90 proof, 750 milliliters. Okay, Kentucky Straight Rye Whiskey, one of the oldest whiskey brands in the U.S. Chicken Cock was established in 1856 in Paris. Oh, not France. Paris, Bourbon County, Kentucky. 7 decades later, it was a staple of Prohibition-era speakeasies, including the world-famous Cotton Club. Known as the famous old brand, Chicken Cock died off after World War II, but has now returned to its rightful place in the pantheon of great American heritage whiskeys. And you can go to chickencockwhiskey.com. Bottled by Grain and Barrel Distillery in Bardstown, Kentucky, made in USA. Ready? Warning. According to the Surgeon General, this guy, who I don't trust, women should not drink alcoholic beverages during pregnancy because of the risk of birth defects. Yes, we want to avoid that. We don't want that. Consumption of alcoholic beverages impairs your ability to drive a car or operate machinery. That can have severely detrimental effects. And may cause health problems. Oh, we don't want that. We don't want that. Oh, no. So abide by those regulations. Drink responsibly. Remember, you never have to grow up. You only have to be responsible. Right. Hey, hey, catch. Oh, oh. Sorry. Okay. Got a real cork. Let's listen for it. It's coming. Nice pop. Ooh, that is a nice aroma. I get the Derby, little triple crown action. I see finely dressed gentlemen smoking cigars and gray tailcoats. I smell big, fine women with beautiful hats. And there's an old home where the sun is shining brightly. That's right. Okay. Let's pour us a touch. That is a nice, healthy touch right there. Let's put the top back on. We don't want it to evaporate out of the bottle, do we? That would be bad. That looks nice, doesn't it? It's got a nice color. A really nice color. I need to take care of this cigar. I don't want there to be any canoeing. That's the problem when cigars start to dry out. See that flare up there? How you doing, Chim Chim? Sounds like someone's knocking at the door, but I don't have a door. That has a nice, smooth aroma. That smells very nice, very nice. Not much of a Kentucky hug, but this is smooth whiskey for a 90 proof. Oh, I highly recommend that. Now, this was not inexpensive by any stretch of the imagination. This was $50. I don't normally spend that much for whiskey, but who could resist the name, right? So to my patrol members in the southern latitudes, you're just going into your summer. I know in Australia summers can be brutal, and I truly hope and pray this year that you don't have a boatload of fires down there. I know you've had real problems with that in the past, and you know what? For all you conscientious Aussies down there, and all you old diggers in the outback, keep your eye peeled for people who set fires deliberately. The majority of the fires that happen here in California are on purpose. Don't let anybody kid you. They're on purpose. And I'm quite sure that there's a percentage of people in every country who would just love to start a fire somewhere. And your job, like the Mojave Patrol member I am, and my friends, our job is when we're out in the wilderness, we keep an eye peeled for other people doing nefarious things. Please, you can do that in your country too. I don't care what country you live in. Because I've actually caught someone setting fire. Twice. Once a guy was trying to set my car on fire when I lived in an apartment in a city not far from here. I just happened to go down dumping the trash, and this guy's throwing a lit book of matches in the front seat of my car. Needless to say, he's not going to be starting any more fires. At least not on my watch. And then when I worked up in these local mountains, coming home from my job at the rifle range, me and another worker were driving down in tandem, and we caught some young people trying to start a forest fire. They cried like babies because we wouldn't let them go. We held them to the Forest Service arrived and took them in charge. That was a long time ago. But anyway, I hope all you guys have nice, safe summers in the southern latitudes. I really do. I really do. Also, if any of my followers want to watch somebody really interesting on YouTube, shoot on over to a channel called Wonder Hussy. Now, I've been watching her since her early days, and her channel is a lot different now than it was years and years ago. And I think she's just one of the finest people. She just got back from Australia a couple of months ago. She's traveled all over the world, Africa, I think, Europe, Australia. She hasn't been to Asia, not yet anyway. And she is an interesting person. Very interesting. Wonder Hussy. Her name's Sarah Jane. Because I know she has Australian fans, because she had a live feed the other night, and people from Australia were hopping onto her live feed. So people from the UK also. And once again, I'm thankful for all my patrol member viewers who live in those countries. I really, truly am. South Africa, Australia, the UK, the Nordic. I've had some people from the Nordic states leave comments, Nordic countries leave comments, and I really appreciate that. International friendship, patrolling together, right? Let's have a little bit more of this stuff. Pretty good. Oh, yes. I'm going to top that off. I'm not going to have too much because I am just getting over being sick, and I don't want to have any issues. I don't want to have any health problems. That's what I don't want, you know. The bubble winked at me and said, "I'll miss you, brother, when you're dead." Oh, yes. I have missed this for the past couple of weeks. Oh, man. I have really missed this. Well, some of you guys made suggestions to me about what kind of strange things I should investigate for spooky stories, and I'm going to do that. Um, I picked up a very, very old paperback book from the 1950s about cryptids and mythical creatures, and there's all kinds of strange creatures that appear in this magazine or in this book that I've never heard of before. The bunyip, the wendigo, which I'd never heard of until I got this book, but now I've seen information about the wendigo. The hodak, I think it's called the hodak, and a hoodoo, and all kinds of strange creatures. You know, that some are Indian legends or Native American legends, and some are early pioneers and things like that. I'm going to try to dig up more creepy things about World War II. I'm going to try to find about more mysteries about the Mojave Desert. I did cover the Yucca Man, which is a form of Bigfoot or Sasquatch or Yeti. I'm sure it's if the creature's real, it's the same thing. There's a strange legend that Joshua trees will uproot themselves and walk across a desert in search of water. So I don't know how true that is, but apparently it's true. And well, it's true to somebody, right? And yeah, so that's what I'm going to try to do. Hold the lips past the gums, look out stomach, here it comes. Oh yeah. There we go. What else? That's about it, unfortunately. I finally got all the parts to work on my Jeep, which is on the other side of the bunker here. So we'll be having another Ran 1 part soon. If all the stuff I got doesn't make it run, it's got to be a problem with the carburetor. And I had the carburetor rebuilt last year, and it cost me $150. And I can imagine that thing has been on that Jeep since I've owned it, and it's been like 26 years, and God knows how many decades before that. And all of a sudden it's having a problem from just doing nothing? That just doesn't make sense to me. It doesn't make sense to me. But hey, what do I know? I don't know everything to know. I don't know everything there is to know about carburetors and fuel pumps and fuel systems. I know a lot, but I don't know everything. You know, and don't ever believe anybody who says they know everything, right? Because at that moment in time, you know they don't. You know, take everything you hear with a grain of salt, including stuff I say. Because if I'm wrong, I'll admit it. Well, folks, here's looking at you, kid. We'll always have Paris. Paris, Kentucky. Okay, let's sum it up. This is really good stuff, Maynard. This is really good stuff. I highly recommend it. If you can get it, get it. It's not the kind of whiskey you're just going to sit around and drink till you're falling down drunk because of the price. But you know, if you have gentlemen over for a game of cards, this is a good whiskey to serve. Or you're sitting out on the veranda watching the evening shadows creep up the steps and encroaching upon you like an old friend. This is the whiskey to have right here. And even though the Oro Cubano is starting to dry out, it's still a good smoke, which means it's a fine cigar. It's a fine cigar. Yes, indeed. And remember, when you go to buy cigars and cigarettes and the price is terribly high, it's not the tobacco company's fault that the prices are high. It's the government, right? That's going to be a controversial thing to say. People are, I know in the taxes in California, why else would something that used to be 50 cents end up being $15? Yeah, they're called sin taxes, right? So, and they want to raise the taxes again on cigarettes, alcohol, and gasoline. I guess driving is a sin, right? But anyway, thanks for joining me tonight, and I hope you had a good time. Thanks for watching, and later, maters.